This video was made during our first Erasmus Plus student activity in Crete. It introduces our topic Democracy Matters and our investigations into human rights, the basic pillars of democracy. We hope you enjoyed it.
Democracy comes from the Greek word demos, meaning people, and kratos, meaning power. So democracy can be thought of as power of the people, a way of governing which depends on the will of the people. And human rights are the foundation of democracy, as you can see here, as democracy is built on the fundament of human rights.
Human rights are the basic rights of every citizen in every country. They have been developed for many years. In fact, there are activists and defenders of human rights that support victims whose fundamental freedoms or human rights are abused. A lot of important people are active human rights defenders and have promoted progress in the field. This part of the video will include examples from the Czech Republic, Northern Ireland, Italy, and Greece.
Human rights education is set up as a basic introduction in Italy. The developments in recent years, there have been positive developments in Italy's laws. Here are some examples. The capital punishment. Italy, constructed of 1948, prohibited capital punishment outside of military law in wartime. Children's rights. In 2000, Italy implemented pupils laid out by the UN in 1989 on protecting children's rights in armed conflict. Women's rights. Italy punished the Court of Europe Convention to protect females from violence, which came into effect in 2014. The right of marrying and have a family. A marriage between two females was officially allowed and recommended by Italian Supreme Court in 2017.
In 1918, Czechoslovakia declared their independence from the Austro-Hungarian Empire and became a communist state. Since the government owned everything, you weren't able to say what you wanted. The people were mad, mainly students, and they decided to protest, but the government stopped it violently. After a lot of pressure, the parliament was dissolved and the country was split to two. Nowadays, the freedom of expression has improved dramatically.
Positive development is a big part of Northern Ireland, as we have had to come back from one of the most horrific times, the Troubles. The Troubles were a 38-year-long, low-level war, mostly between Catholics and Protestants, which at the time hated one another, and thousands were killed. Protests started between both sides because they wanted something different, but they were shut down by the police, which was a clear disgrace to people's human rights to have freedom of speech. Walls were put up between Protestants and Catholic areas to stop fights, and they were called peace walls. But when it finally stopped, when the Good Friday Agreement was made, and since then a lot of peace walls have been took down, and Protestants and Catholics can live beside one another without fighting and can speak what they want to say on their mind without having any warnings about it.
There is a positive development of human rights in Crete. The government has made social groceries which give out a huge variety of essentials like food and clothes, and social solidarity clinics which supply a great amount of medicine to the people who can't afford them. There are facilities for the people with special needs, like special parking spots for the disabled, yellow sidewalk for the ones who have limited vision, and special bars and sidewalks for those who use a wheelchair. The locals play an important role to maintain the sense of human rights. People make close donations to churches so they can give it to the impoverished people. Furthermore, the majority of citizens avoid discrimination for those who originate from different countries. Last but not least, there are money donations from the wealthy local families to the people who live in the third world countries and deal with economical problems.
form of protest. Before that, you had mostly violent uprisings of the poor people that were asking for something, for a better life, for better wages in the workplace or stuff like that. Only after the 17th century, as we know from political theory or political history, a new form of collective action arises, and this is the social movement.
It's a place that a small group of people started to create in order to help the refugees and minorities of this city to have a place to gather, to conversate, to make conversations about their problems and how they will face those problems. This is also a gathering place for all these minorities in order to discuss with each other the problems and to find a common place in order to have better outcome on their efforts to have a better life.
I think that my mission is to be there. Okay, if anybody wants a help, I have to do my work. Okay, yes, so yes. In every society there are the goods and the bads.
Yes.
So what did we learn this week?
We learned about human rights and democracy. But we also learned how to cooperate and discuss important issues while having a great time.
Sure, but why are human rights important?
Well, they affect our way of living and control our everyday actions. So they're basically fundamental for our lives.
And also, to the United Nations, human rights ensure that a human being will be able to fully develop and to use human qualities such as intelligence, talent and conscience, and to satisfy his spiritual and other needs.
And furthermore, the Erasmus program protects our rights to participate at cultural life, and the sharing with you guys of other countries protect our rights to expression.
And how can we protect our own rights?
Stand up for them. By fight for them and motivate the others.
Know your human rights and history.
Yeah!